Wait, also before we get into today's video, I've just launched a TikTok for Only the Muckers. It's going to be like our little exclusive page where I post all of my little chaotic thoughts. It is McIntyre's Dump. If you're a part of our Instagram page, which is McIntyre's Dump, you know how chaotic it is. I've created an Instagram version of that. It is up right now. Probably use the link to go find it because I'm about to upload my first video on it later, so it's a little bit hard to find. But it is McIntyre's Dump on TikTok. Go follow. It's going to be chaotic as piss. Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very, very, very well. I am wearing my Chronically Online Turk crew neck, which I love so much, and I'm really intrigued for today's video because I have not been tagged in something this much in a very long time. So Rosanna, I'm taking my shoes off for this one. I'm getting comfortable actually. So Rosanna Pansino has made a response video to Tana Mongeau talking about Escape the Night. Now, we have covered what Tana has said about Escape the Night on my YouTube channel over the last couple days, but basically Tana talks about the fact that she felt very uncomfortable on set, and this is the new Escape the Night they're filming because apparently we need another Escape the Night, of course, that she felt uncomfortable and that one of the crew members was basically sexually harassing her, and she spoke about this. She talked about what went on her podcast. And then Joey Graceffa responded in not the best way. And then apparently Joey apologized / sent her flowers. And then that seemed to be the kind of ending of it. And then now we have Rosanna Pansino has posted on her Ridiculous podcast exposing Tana Mongeau's lies about me and Escape the Night. Now, first things first, I do want to clarify that I have been very nice about Rosanna on this channel, and I'm always rooting for Rosanna Pansino. And yes, now what I will say is I don't remember what Tana said about Rosanna. I'm sure she's going to bring it up here. But when she says exposing Tana Mongeau's lies about me and Escape the Night, obviously there's a level of Rosanna feels like personally kind of upset by Tana, which is why she's doing this. And I mean, she wanted to do it so much that her and Mike have filmed, I guess, like an emergency kind of podcast where they're not in the studio and they're doing this. Now, we're going to get to this. I don't know necessarily why Rosanna has responded with an entire podcast. I do want to hear her out and listen to the entire thing. I think it's only fair. But as of right now, I have not watched this, and this is kind of proving it to you. I don't really know what her angle is. I'm a little bit confused in a way, but we will get into it. My personal opinion on the Tana Mongeau situation is Tana Mongeau spoke about something that happened to her on set. It was just her and the crew member there. And for me, I heard what Tana said. I talked about it. And then, I moved on. I was not there. Tana spoke about her experience. I listened to her. I let her speak. She's the only one that knows. She was there. So I'm interested to see what Rosanna's going to say about what Tana said happened to her. Because again, my understanding right now is that it was only Tana Mongeau present with this man during this. Therefore, should any of us really be commenting on it? I don't really know. So let's get to it. Also, Chronically Online Tour, we are doing our next stop, our only UK show in London on Sunday. And we have a 30% discount code if you use the code DOLLY. So that is on Sunday. That is March 9th in London. The venue is so beautiful. I'm so excited. This is our only UK show. So if anyone is in London and wants to come to the show, tickets are currently 30% off using code DOLLY. And also, all of our other dates are now on sale as well. We are starting again after London in Nashville, and then we're going Nashville, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Boston, Minneapolis, Detroit, night 2 in Chicago because it sold out the first show, Orlando, Houston, Atlanta, Phoenix, Vegas, San Diego, and San Francisco. All tickets are linked down below, and also my Patreon is linked down below as well. I have so much exclusive content over there, so if you want to support, that is there. But let's get into this Rosanna video. I love that they have just clearly rolled out of the shower to film this. All right.
Subject, I guess, is a little bit difficult for me because, Mike, do you want to explain? I don't even know how to. I'm genuinely confused. And
so right before we left, a bunch of people were sending Ro basically the clips from 3 different podcasts, and essentially what the clips are is Tana.
Also, I do want to clarify that this is not out of the common for Rosanna to kind of speak about something like a drama when it comes to Escape the Night or Joey Graceffa. She has always been very positive and defending of Joey Graceffa and Escape the Night, so I guess I could have seen this coming.
Basically shit-talking Escape the Night and also throwing crazy amount of shade at Ro for no reason that I can discern.
I don't understand it. I've always been cool with her,
I don't
loved
know,
on her,
literally don't know where that's coming
her,
from.
been kind to her. I don't judge her for anything. That's what's shocking to me,
Yeah.
I think, because it's just confusing.
I feel like she just kind of used your name to essentially have a piece of content. And I think they were even saying in a recent podcast that drama is slow right now. So, I don't know why they threw Ro under the bus in a way, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to show the clips.
Business is slow.
What happened? What'd they say about Ro? I thought the story was about what Tana Mongeau went through on Escape the Night.
Oh, so just run me over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will...
That kind of sucks. I'm just going to say this again because I know she's been through a lot of bad decisions, and I've never judged her. I've actually defended her in private with my own friends. Like when they would
Many
start
times.
to talk poorly about Tana, I would stop them and stand up for her. And so this really got me off guard, but it is what it is. So yeah, we watched the clips on the plane. It was hard to watch. And I think what I got frustrated about is the over-exaggeration about Escape the Night and the falsehoods that she has repeated it time and time and
And it's
time
like, when
again.
does exaggeration become lying? And I think you'll see...
It tip.
Yeah, to me, it comes off as lying. Some people say it's just exaggerating, but I think Tana does have a history of both exaggerating, but also making up things that didn't happen and getting called out for it. It seems to me like it's kind of a repeat of that pattern, but we'll... Curious to see what other people think.
Yeah, me too, because I'm confused.
Oof. 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 Oof, 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 oof. Oh, I think this one's gonna be an interesting watch. Alright. Here's my opinion on it. Tana Mongeau speaking about what happened to her experience on Escape the Night. That is not something I am going to dissect in any way. She spoke about what she went through, and I'm not gonna stand here and say that it's an over-exaggeration or anything. Also, I think the argument that both of them are bringing up here about Tana, in the past being unreliable and exaggerating, and when does exaggeration become lies? I don't know. I think it's a very dangerous thing to say. I mean, ooh, okay, all right.
So leave your comments and thoughts down below.
Yeah.
And we're going to get through this. I think it's something that really does need to be addressed because I made a promise to myself to stand up for myself. So let's watch these clips and we're going to go over what really happened on set.
I'm like, what the hell when is Rosanna involved in this? What did Tana say about Rosanna?
While Mike's plugging that in, I'm going to intro this. This is the first clip that we're going to watch is from episode 107 from the canceled podcast, and it has Tana, her co-host Brooke, and Paige. And I actually met Paige on the set of Escape the Night.
Yeah.
And when I met her, she was very kind to my face. All right, let's play the clip.
Hit me up to be a part of this project, right? And I'm not going to say who, like in hopes to keep the identity of all of this concealed, but I'm sure people will find out. And what I want to say is if people find out, if you do find out.
So she's keeping the identity anonymous, is what she's saying.
But it's kind of like also saying, after you watch the whole thing, it's kind of like, no, I've got a story. It's about the CEO of Amazon.
We're not gonna use any
I'm not going to
names.
say his name because
We don't want people figuring it
I
out.
don't want people to figure out his identity. But if you figure it out, don't go send him hate.
Yeah, I'm going to say this to several million people, and I'm sure no one is going to go figure it out and post about it.
No, and I'm not going to say very specific things that identify everything.
And I think they say the name later anyway, so,
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Don't go send hate because this isn't anyone that you would know's fault. You know what I mean? Like I really want to, like the person who I did this project with and for, like I love so much. So I feel like even guilty, like associating this like with his name and with his whatever. And I've debated telling the story on the podcast all week, but like I just fucking hate men and I cannot
So obviously this is about Joey Graceffa.
believe this happened to me. Like,
Yeah.
so whatever, I'm going to tell it.
I don't know. That seems a weird way to start a story for me.
I think she's been hurt a lot by men. I have as well. I have my own traumas, but I don't hate all of a gender. I don't know. It's just a pretty harsh statement. I don't hate.
Okay. To be a viewer of Tana Mongeau and the canceled podcast, you understand how Tana will speak about men or, fuck all men or I hate all men or whatever. While that can be true, it's a very figure of speech. A lot of people will say whenever they're telling stories, it's very, very, very common. I don't think it's much deeper than that.
Hate any sex. I don't hate women. I don't hate men. I don't like people who are mean.
Yeah, we don't like certain people, but to just say you hate 50% of the population and you're trying to tell a story as if it's not biased, I don't know. I think it throws the bias out the window before she's even told the story.
Has nothing to do with the person who put on this project. Anyways, so yes, I agreed to this project months ago, and it's one of those things where I'm like, the fans will really love it, very nostalgic, like it's for a niche group of people, but like,
I'm gonna stop right there and say it's for a niche group of people. In another interview, she says that it's billboards everywhere, it's a mainstream show. So in two different videos, she said it's mainstream when she's expressing gratitude for the project, and then when she's shitting on it, she calls it niche and little, like she's bigger
like
and
belittling it.
like better than it. And an old friend hits her up to be in it, and she kind of is giving off the impression how she's speaking about it, the tone, the manner is that like she's doing the project out of charity, sympathy. Like I'm doing him a favor.
You're lucky to have me.
You're lucky to have.
All right. I personally don't think it came across like that. Also, Escape the Night may have billboards and be a success, but at the end of the day, it really is known universally as just like a YouTuber show. You know what I mean? Shit me.
Have you? She knew about it months in advance.
Months in advance.
Right. So this is not last minute. It's months in advance.
Plenty of time to plan a 2-day shoot.
And prepare and be a professional.
But like, I'm gonna do it and just like be a good friend and whatever.
So keep in mind, she's saying, I'm going to be a good friend.
I'm going to be a good friend, and then I'm going to go on a rage rant right here, and I'm going to complain about everything in the production. I'm going to over-exaggerate. I'm going to lie about it because I'm such a good friend. Also, I just want to clarify for everyone listening that this project filmed over 2 full days. Tana only filmed 1 day. Not only 1 day, but a half day. I think she was on set for maybe 6.5 hours. It was around there. I'll let Joey or the production team figure that out. She left before anyone else. I stayed hours and hours afterward.
Also, as much as I like Ro, I don't care for how Ro is always the one defending Joey Graceffa and Escape the Night rather than Joey Graceffa and Escape the Night. You know what I mean? She did this during the Gabby thing as well. Like, where's Joey Graceffa defending Escape the Night? Where's Escape the Night? Where's their PR manager? Is it Ro? Is it Ro? I'm starting to think it's Ro.
So did everybody else. She did the least amount of work on this project. She had the shortest time on set.
Oh, Ro.
And she complained the most.
Yeah.
She was in a bad mood all day, negative, unprofessional. And I didn't want to say that to her because I know people have bad days, but when you're a professional, you leave your shit at the door. When you walk on a set, when you go to work, you leave your shit on a door. And that's called compartmentalizing, and it's a maturity thing. And I just hope she keeps working on it.
The night before I get my call time, and it's 9 a.m. downtown Los Angeles. I need to be there full glam.
She starts off by complaining about the call time. The call time is at 9 a.m. in the morning, which is a luxury on most sets.
That's like a dream call time.
That is sleeping in. I've been on so many sets, Disney, Nickelodeon, NCIS. I could go on Glee for 2 years.
Well,
I worked on
your
Glee
HBO
for
show,
2 years.
she had to wake up at 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
every day.
Yep, every day. So 9 a.m. is not an early call time. That is a sleep in
That's
for
like
any
this-
actor.
For any job, 9 a.m. is the,
I can't.
like any full-time job.
I'm like, all right, okay, all right.
Like that salary,
That
9
call
a.m. is
time-
the standard
The way
time.
she says it too, the dramatic.
The call time was 9
is
a.m..
9 a.m. and it's downtown Los Angeles.
Which, a quick reminder, this was filmed on a weekend, so you'll
There's
see
no
her
traffic.
complain about Los Angeles a million times. It's on a weekend, there's no traffic, and you agreed to do it. And so just the way it was 9 a.m. in downtown LA, like she's going into a war zone. Like, it's like 12 hours away. You knew about this months in advance. The call time is later than 90%. We're off to a very rocky start already.
Yeah, and they want her to come with some makeup on her face.
Yeah,
So
which is also pretty standard.
we're asking a lot here of Tana.
Yeah.
I need to be downtown in Los Angeles.
You know what I mean? The way Rosanna's like, we're asking a lot, right? Like, girl, leave the defending of Escape the Night to the Escape the Night people. Don't allow yourself to get dragged up in this. What are you doing?
At 9 a.m. full glam. That's like an
gotta
hour.
Just like everyone else who works in LA.
Just like anyone in the world working.
I can't. This is literally the easiest shoot outline ever. At a great location on the weekend at a late call time of 9 a.m. I'll see if I have the call sheet while you.
Okay, yeah, Mike, you look up the call sheet. I'm going to continue with the complaints. You
An
got
hour away there, honestly.
No, I went to bed per usual, just insomnia. I'm always gonna go to bed late. I went to bed at like 4 and literally woke up at like 6:30. Like I got 2.5 hours of sleep. I wake up, I do the glam. We're on our way.
When you're a working professional and you know that you have a big shoot coming up, and maybe you know that you have a hard time sleeping, that's your responsibility to get enough hours of sleep before your gig. Like that's on you as an adult, as a working adult professional.
Later in the clip,
Okay, I think this being picked apart so much already is not great. If I'm being completely honest, I think there's a lot of... They're saying that Tana's overreacting. I think their response to Tana here is overreacting. She's someone who does story times. She's someone who, tells stories in a certain way. It's not over-exaggerating or anything, but she's entertaining with her stories.
you'll see them complaining about, in their opinion, people are being unprofessional. Except Tana's literally the definition of unprofessional, where you have months to plan your schedule around getting up. Maybe she has to get up at 6, maybe at 7, but you have months to plan for that.
I always just assume it's an early morning call time.
Always.
Whew, we're going to take a quick break right here to talk about one of this week's sponsors, Madam Ram.
All right. Well, we're not sponsored over here, so we're gonna skip on. All right.
Shoot all day. Everyone else worked a full day on set. Tana did not. Tana was around again 6.5 hours.
And one thing I want to say too is Tana has filmed Escape the Night before. And so she knows exactly what she's signing up for. This is even easier. It's during the day, on a weekend, at a very normal time. And a lot of her stories are acting like she doesn't know what to expect. But the way Joey shot this Escape the Night was very similar, if not way easier than previous ones. So why are her hands going numb? Is it from the lack of sleep? Is it from the stress that she agreed to sign up for? I don't understand why her hands are numb. That kind of sounds like an actual medical issue. It's very odd. I've never heard someone say their hands go numb.
No, I would go to the doctor immediately.
Trying to serve and give give and slay and have a personality. And like, I can't feel my hands. And so we get there, and then I'm getting styled, I'm getting dressed. And I always say this, like, are you ever really serving if you're not in a little bit of pain? So per usual, it's just one of those things where I'm like corseted, tits up to my neck, like kitten heel, whole nine. I have to be like running around in all of this. I'm so uncomfortable. It's like 9:30 in the morning. There's all of these other characters there as well. I don't want to like say all the people. Let's just say I walk into like characters screaming.
So Tana arrives to set, and she said she walks into the room to all these characters. Tana, I love you, but you are a character.
Everyone there had been on Escape the night before except one person. So, I don't know, it's just very weird to call them characters as if there's some big surprise. Like, she's met all these people. She knows, I believe, every person there except for maybe one, I'm not sure. But it's just like, it's the same people. And I feel like being like, it's a bunch of...
Hey, oh my god, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is why. Okay, we don't need to pick it all apart. Ooh.
characters is like so degrading. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's just trying to be shady. And in another clip, she says random characters.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, Tana, you are a character.
Yeah.
Oh, they were also talking about the location, like it's downtown LA, and it's not safe. And it
was
is
very
a
safe.
big
It
city,
was
and
very
I get
safe.
it. Like if you're downtown New York, it's the same thing. The higher density populations, there's more people, more craziness can happen. But this set was so safe. Even the parking lot to drive in was completely gated. This is a very safe filming location, so it's just a lot of drama. I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she was just having a bad day when it happened in the moment. But now that I'm watching all these interviews and podcasts that she's doing, I'm like, oh no, that's how she thinks about other people. Thinks that we're characters. I think in her opinion, she wanted to see more famous people in the room, and so she's being very judgmental and high and mighty.
And I think it's either this podcast or an episode around it where she's talking about.
By the way, the audio did just change a little bit. That isn't just your speakers. I didn't get from that Tana was talking about that she was expecting celebrities. I think it came across like she didn't want to name anyone's name so that people wouldn't be tied to her story.
About how she's going
Which
to a
is
big celebrity
ironic.
party, and she's disappointed that there aren't more famous people there.
Yeah, she said the most known person was David Dobrik.
And it just shows like,
She goes to a party and then just looks around the room for the most famous person.
yeah, I think it's a different mindset for sure.
Fame chasing.
Yeah.
Versus you're there for the work. You're there because you want to storytell, you want to support your friend, you love being on set, you love making things. I don't want to be here, but I will because it's Joey.
Yeah, I
and
know,
then
I know, when I
there's
was
no
there-
famous people here. And I'm like,
And I remember hearing too for the intro. I mean, you'll see it when the show's out. But when they're filming each individual person's intro, they just have to do this little hop, and you'll see it in the edit. It's
I
like
think it's sucked
you get-
into something.
Yeah, you're getting sucked.
Oh, that was a
I don't know.
smile.
Do I don't follow us?
Do I
And that's literally all I have to do is a tiny little hop. Like not even like a jump, but just like a little hop. And literally, I remember hearing that she refused to even just do the little hop. So she's already like no sleep, looking down on people, and
no, it's
refusing to
negative.
do the basic
No sleep, a bus, club, another club, next place.
acting. And in her mind, she's doing this huge favor to Joey.
I had a YouTuber come up to me and tell me that like at 9:30 in the morning, I'm standing there like fully ready, like in a fucking gown. And I'm having a YouTuber tell me that their parent just passed away and they turned their ashes into marijuana and then they smoked their parent. And I'm like, it's 9:30 in the...
All right. Okay, I understand it now. Okay. That pissed Tana and Mike off. Or no, that pissed Rosanna and Mike off. And that is why we've got an hour and 30-minute long podcast. All right. There we go. Tana should not have said that. That's what's happened here. We've got this podcast, both Rosanna and Mike, because they're not happy with that comment. And you know what? I'm not taken from Tana saying that it was her, like, making fun of Ro. I think it was just a part of the story. Now, again, I'm not Ro, so Ro can take it any way she wants. Obviously, we know how she's taking it. Okay, this now makes a lot more sense. I was wondering what Tana Mongeau's lies about me were and why Rosanna jumped into this so heavy strong. Okay. All right, I get it now.
in the morning, and I'm downtown, and this YouTuber is telling me about how they smoked their dead parent.
Is
And
that against the law?
okay, let's just stop here.
It's a lot to digest. I wonder who she's talking about, Rosanna. Do you have any idea?
Well, she's not going to give any spoilers that she's working with me
Yeah.
because there's so many YouTubers out there that have honored their dad's
I can't keep
wishes.
track of so many.
There's so many out there.
Yes, this is where she starts essentially just attacking Ro.
This is-
and that's not how the conversation went.
I am so confused because, yeah, this is not how the conversation went. Mike was there.
I heard the whole conversation.
So I just, like, I don't understand. When she showed up, I gave her a hug. I noticed she was a little moody. I thought maybe she needed a cup of coffee or something. So I just went over and snuggled with Mike. Later, when she looked to be a little bit more awake and in a better mood, I gave her another hug and I told her that I really liked her new podcast with Trish, not Loveline, because I've really been enjoying it. I think it's so funny. I think it's just brilliant to take Loveline and then reverse it and do
Yeah.
not Loveline. Like, it flips it on its head, and I just got a huge kick out of that. And I was telling her how cool I thought that was, and she said thank you, and I told her about my podcast coming out, and I really made an effort to tell all of my family and friends that my first episode of my podcast was going to be a little bit different. I really tried to warn people. I didn't want to shock them, and I really wanted to tell them face to face if I
Yeah.
could. Some friends that
She warned me face to face that was going to be the first episode too, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I reacted to it on my YouTube channel, and hearing her and her mother and her sister talk about it, I was like, wow, this is really beautiful. This is really beautiful.
Had to text, but I really tried to just let people know my heart, because I know that my dad's request was unique and unconventional, but I just really wanted people to hear it from me. So I did tell her, and at the time on set, she said that was a slay.
She loved that you're speaking up,
yeah,
about, like,
and talking
about your
my shit.
and talking your shit.
And
she would love to have you on the podcast. To talk about it. She said she'd love to smoke with you.
And I told her that I now make brownies with cannabis, and I call them bougie brownies because they're made with all organic, very expensive ingredients.
I was saying that you're so badass and like,
I want one of those.
Was inviting her on the podcast like the 5th time, but it's never actually an invite. I think she just says it to be nice, but never actually invites you.
Oh, now that you say that.
Oh yeah, she's been saying it for like a year.
I did not put that together till just
Yeah.
That's hitting me. Okay. All right, well, I'll take that. I'm gonna let that digest. I'm gonna take a quick break right here to talk.
Another sponsor, girl? What the fuck?
Is talking about how they smoke their dead parent. It's so degrading because Ro has literally filmed an entire season of A Save the Night with Tana, and I just feel like it's very degrading to just say, oh, you're some YouTuber. And I think it's very intentional, and it's just mean.
It felt mean when I'm watching it. It just felt really judgy.
Yeah, and then Brooke says, isn't that illegal? If you mind, Brooke does not like Ro.
Right, yeah. Brooke doesn't like me because on my podcast, I had my friend Tila Dunn on, who's an actress, and on the podcast, Tila brought up Brooke, her racist post that resurfaced or something, and Tila said that it really disappointed her. And I said, yeah, it's disappointing.
Every time Brooke mentions Ro, you can tell
her face just scowls.
Just
her
how
face
much hatred is there.
Look
for
at her
Ro.
face. And so right here in this clip, she goes, isn't that illegal?
No, it's not.
And the answer is no. It is not. So my dad's ashes were mixed into soil, and then we grew a cannabis plant. Then we smoked plants. And in the state of California, it's illegal to own residential. You can own 6 cannabis plants. And I get that it's unconventional. I get that it's unique. And I get that people are going to say, hey, I would never do that. Or I.
All right, there we go. We now know why Rose, coming for Tana so strong. Here's my thing. The same way I'm going to be like, Tana told what went through, what her opinion was, how she's feeling. I'm not going to comment on that. Same way I'm not going to comment on Ro being upset or offended by Tana. All I'm saying is the same way I don't think people should be commenting on Tana, and it's her story to tell. With Rosanna, I've seen Tana talk about her. I personally didn't think the intention was making fun of Tana or making fun of Ro from Tana's POV. But again, if Ro has taken it like that, clearly she has, then there's nothing any of us can do about that. But I do believe that being upset about what Tana has said about you, smoking your father, I don't think, I think you should focus on that. But and it could be exposing Tana's lies about me and then stop it there. But then talking about Escape the Night and whatever I can only assume Ro and Mike are going to say about Tana talking about her experience on Escape the Night, it's already not off to a great start, is kind of like, you have a really good argument if you just focus on Tana, upsetting you with, wrongly saying about you smoking your dad or whatever, right? But then when you start attacking her and discrediting / picking apart what she said about Escape the Night, it then just makes you look petty and you lose your argument. Which is normally Ro's really clever with this kind of stuff, that I'm shocked she's done this, and I don't agree with it, and I'm fearful of what's to come, because I'm sure this is just going to rile both Ro and Mike up with this right now. We're only getting into it right now.
I think that's cool. That's up to them.
You're like, oh, that's weird. But
to say illegal, that is misinformation, dum-dum. I just call her dum-dum now, and I don't really call names, but every time she talks, it's just bootlicking Tana. Have you noticed that?
I mean, I don't watch a lot of
Everything
cancel
she
podcasts,
says-
but it doesn't surprise me.
Well, even Tana says something, she misunderstands it, says the opposite, and Tana goes, no, I meant this, and she goes, oh yeah, of course that. So she switches her opinion faster than you'd ever, because she just is a yes man. She's there as a yes man. I just don't think
For a group that hates men so much, she really is being a yes man.
Stop. And no, his DNA is not actually in the plants. You're not actually smoking dad. Plants filter themselves. This is biology 101. Just stay in school, kids.
Paige is going to chime in with an absolute banger.
Are you ready, guys? Now, Paige calls me a cannibal.
Against the law? That's like cannibalism.
I don't know, Jude.
That's like cannibalism. No, dum-dum. That is not cannibalism. Stay in school, kids. Stay in school.
And I think it just shows how miserable these people are when she tells the story of you talking to her and they jump straight to cannibalism. It's just so absurd. It's such an extreme exaggeration. And you'll see it a lot as they tell their stories.
What I really don't understand is that I have never judged her for all the shit that she has done. I have never judged her. I've never treated her poorly. I have been nothing but loving and kind. And then I do something that's unique and sacred. And I get that it's unique. And I want to tell my friend in person. And then
Then she described it as some YouTuber came up to me. It's just very degrading. And if any of my friends were like, oh, Justine's a cannibal, I'd be like, shut up. You're being dumb. It just shows you the exaggeration and the anger.
No way, shape, or
And
form.
I'm just like, geez Louise, what did I rope myself into, right? And we get to one of these, and again, it's not negative. I'm still very happy to be doing this, and it's very much so for the
she says,
again, it's still not negative. I'm very happy to be doing this.
Despite complaining about every single thing, being
Okay, maybe it has to do with me being closer in age to Tana, and this is not a shady thing because you know I love Ro, right? But maybe me being closer in age to Tana makes me like understand how Tana tells stories more, because the way that Tana tells stories, like her literally saying something negative and then being like, hey, this is not me saying this negatively, but I mean, I'm like, oh, I do that as well, and I don't mean it in a bad way. So I just believe here that Ro and Mike are misinterpreting what Tana said, but if you don't understand the way in which Tana's saying it, it's easy to misconstrue it. But still, I just think that they are possibly blowing this up.
mean and now judging Ro and others. But she's so happy to be here.
She was not happy to be
I'm
there.
happy to be here. Do you a favor.
She didn't want to show up. She didn't want to be there. She left early. Like, she did
self-worth is an
the
all-time low.
least amount of work out of any of the cast members. We were there for 2 days. She was there for 1 day. Again, okay, let's go.
Very much so for the final product. So I'm like, listen, I might have to suffer today, but like I'm happy, nostalgic. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy I'm doing this, whatever, right? And we're in one of those buildings downtown where it's like floors and floors of like different set departments and like sets and stuff. And the set that we're shooting in is underneath the building. It is in the basement of this giant building downtown. So I walk down to shoot. My phone immediately goes on SOS. Okay.
no.
It's freezing outside, so it's cold. Of course, I'm dressed like a slut. I feel like this is always happening to me, or someone has me dressed like a slut.
I like how she says her phone immediately goes to SOS. It's like you're down one flight of stairs.
Yeah, if you walk up one flight, it goes up. And I just want to remind everyone, on all the sets that I've been on, you're not supposed to have your phone on set. On NCIS, they did not allow me to have my phone on set when we were filming at all. Even during downtime, during breaks, no one's on their phone.
It's actually uncommon to have cell service because you're normally on a set in a big warehouse.
Or someone has me dressed like a slut, and it's fucking wintertime.
She also plays victim here, and this really bothers me, is she says, someone has me dressed like a slut. Like, they keep making me wear these things.
Who do you think that person is that made her do that?
That would be herself. That would be herself, Mike, because Joey let us pick free reign anything we wanted to wear. He said, okay. And he said, if
Okay, I think the way that Tana was saying that story wasn't explicitly how they're interpreting it. Oh, guys, what are we doing?
you wanted to bring your own outfit from home, you could. You could do whatever you wanted. And that's what I did. I brought my own outfit. My outfit was actually inappropriate because my top was so low that my boobs were popping out, my nipples were popping out, which I didn't have a problem with.
Nothing wrong with
But
that.
this is going on YouTube, so I didn't want Joey to get censored.
Yeah, demonetized for sure.
Demonetized, so
That's the Patreon version.
they actually wardrobe gave me a jacket.
And I remember them asking Ro, like, here's like 4 or 5 options. One was prom queen, one was this and that. And Ro was like,
Yeah.
let the other cast pick whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'll either
Because
take
I'm
what's
so chill,
left.
I don't care.
Yeah, she'll either take what's left or make her own outfit. We ended up making her own, and that's how flexible it is. It is not normal for productions to let you make your own outfit. So it's already more accommodating than any other show Ro has been on when it comes to wardrobe. And so when she's like, someone is forcing me to dress like a slut,
Do you think these two are on the PR team for Escape the Night? And I'm being so serious right now.
that's you, Tana. You chose to do
No,
that.
she didn't bring her own option, and then wardrobe had 5 options for her, and she chose her outfit, and they ranged all
I feel like
over.
I'm getting PTSD to the Gabby Hanna expose of Escape the Nightmare.
And I don't think she looked slutty. I'm going to be very honest. She looked beautiful. When I saw her walk in the room, she looked gorgeous. My jaw dropped.
Yeah, it was a prom. It was
It
really
was a prom
stunning,
dress.
And,
It was stunning. It was beautiful.
and yeah, her boobs were pushed up, but I wouldn't ever call that dress slutty in my opinion.
No, I think it had a little bit of sexiness to it, but it wasn't slutty. It was a prom dress.
Like 1 in every like 30 set days that I have, you walk in and the production company is all men from like the rickets of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Okay.
That statement is just a lie. The production company was not all male. There was tons of females, and like I don't understand if Tana has like female blindness, like she can't see
Maybe.
women. I don't. She
remember
just sees the dudes. I
when
don't.
we first walked in, there was like 4 women. They were like some of the first people I saw. And so I don't know why she has to again exaggerate and say it was all men. It's just not true.
There was tons of women on set, just so everybody knows. And again, I have a video that even has. Sorry, there's a guy cutting this tree. If you hear
He's
that,
harvesting coconuts.
He's getting those coconuts right now. But even the lead game designer who like made all the games and explained all of it to us, like she produced everything and she was always there. She was female. She's female, and I have a video of even her there. So yes, there were females on set. There was females a part of the crew. There was females on the production. So this is just a blatant lie. And then she insults them and said from the rickets
of Los Angeles.
So like shaming them where they're from. Like if you're from an area that she doesn't think is good enough, then you're from the rickets.
Yeah, I don't even know if she's using that word right. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't. I have no idea what it even means, but it sounds insulting and
Yeah, it's definitely
belittling,
used to be belittling.
like degrading.
So the term rickets is a disease of children caused by vitamin D deficiency, characterized by imperfect calcification, softening, and distortion of the bones, typically resulting in
Oh,
bow
gross.
legs. And this word was most popular in like the 1930s. So I don't think she's using the word rickets right.
And here they are laughing about it. She's just insulted
Every
people
person
who
on
she
the
believes is
production team.
below her, and now she's laughing about it. Hee, mean girl energy.
Again, 90% of the time you'll be on a set with all men and they're all very just like normal, like younger, they're a vibe, they're with
Younger. There we
now the truth is coming
go.
out.
They're a vibe.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what she may have been upset about it, she should have just said there was no cute guys, in her opinion. They weren't young enough. They weren't hot enough. And so she's just annoyed that these are grown men doing their thing, working.
And I don't know what set she's on. It's not. I've never been on a set that's just all men. If it's like a real production.
No.
Okay, again, I just think this is being blown out of proportion. If I'm being honest, that is just my opinion.
I feel like she's just making that up. If it's a production of 3 people, maybe it'll be all men. But any real production, if it's like
It's
30,
also
40
like,
people,
we're not there. It's not Tinder. Like, we're not there to date the guys.
we're not there
Like,
to judge people where they're from, or what
I don't understand why they're saying this because Tana's in a long-term relationship right now.
they look like. Like, grow up.
they're not young enough? What? Who says that? On a production crew. This director's not young enough.
This shoot would have been so much fun.
This
but everyone
producer's
was
not
too
young
old.
enough. This director's too ugly. Could you imagine saying that to a real director? Like,
Oh my-
it's just so shallow.
Yeah.
Everything is about looks with them.
Let's stop right here for a moment to talk.
Another ad, girl! Does she have any more ads in this? Holy fuck, Ro.
These men from this production company just weren't giving that. Like, and it was just like very creepy. Like I just, the vibes with every interaction I had with every single person. Like just the Mike guy, it was like, he's not asking me.
I'm like so scared as to what Ro and Mike are gonna say next.
He's all up in my,
So she says every interaction with every single person was weird or giving weird vibes or whatever. And it's like, no, I literally was next to Tana when she talked to several crew members several times. It was completely normal interactions. So just based on what I saw in person with my own eyes, it already proves, in my opinion, that she is either exaggerating or just lying. And it's not to say when we get to the other actor what he said, it's not to say that that's didn't happen. But here she's literally saying every interaction with every person on the crew was weird. That's just not true. If you feel like every interaction was weird with every single person, maybe it's not them.
Here we go. Let's hear some more.
not asking me. He's all up in my guts. He's like very weird, like heavy breathing, like complimenting me. Like I do appreciate a compliment, but it's like weird when you're underground in a basement.
I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but he wasn't heavy breathing because he thought Tana was hot and he was into her and he's like being creepy and slimy. He was heavy breathing because he was overweight and he was busting his ass. He was running up and down the stairs all day, working so hard. He was so kind and he was out of breath because he was working his ass off.
Yeah.
He was working way harder than her.
So she doesn't like where they are from. She doesn't like that he was breathing heavier than she would like.
She says something mean or he's ugly. Oh wait, there's some more complaints.
You look so beautiful today, Tana. And they look like a fucking gremlin. And you're like, my phone's on SOS. And like, it's just,
Yeah, time and place.
She complains that he compliments her, which he complimented everyone.
Sorry. I think it's just because I'm a nasty bitch. But sorry, that was so funny. He looks like a fucking grandma. OMG. Sorry.
And I did not pick up that he was saying it in a creepy or hitting on you way at all. I think he was just giving kind compliments, and that's how it came across to me.
We'll
She
talk
just
about
thinks
it.
that everyone is obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Like it's something in the upstairs where she's like, he was heavy breathing on me and hitting on me, and I'm like, he was heavy breathing because he was running around all day.
And I saw him
it's-
mic a lot of people, and he was very respectful. Again, I didn't see every single mic.
I feel
and every
bad for
single
him.
talent. But again, saying that every interaction was weird, that's just not true. Like, I saw him mic her at one time, and it was fine. It was nothing, yeah. So I don't know why she needs to now insult his looks. She doesn't like their age, doesn't like where they live from, doesn't like their looks. Is there anything she likes?
She doesn't like getting a compliment.
Yeah, I can't do that.
What I'm picking up is that like anything you do is wrong. Unless you're a hot dude, then you can do
You
no
can do whatever
wrong.
you want.
You can do whatever you want. That's not a healthy mindset.
And so eventually, I have a little side quest, okay? I'm solo from everyone else that I'm filming with, right? And I'm already just like 4 hours into this, and like,
Big work day. 4 hours.
4 hours.
4
into my
hours.
shift, and I am
Woo,
dead.
I'm beat.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I only got 2 hours of sleep. It's because of this crazy situation where I had to work for 4 hours.
It is not the set's fault that you didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. She was just in a bad mood all day.
the whole thing of like what is being made is also very much not like things that I'm normally doing. Like I'm screaming and I'm running and I'm like physically exerting myself in so many ways that I normally like wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And so I'm just dead. And
She's doing things she wouldn't normally do. No, normally you don't film Escape the Night every day.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly what Escape the Night is like because she's been in 2 previous seasons. And not only been in 2 previous seasons, but she knows that those were a lot more time demanding, like
The
vampire
challenges
hours.
and all that were way crazier.
Way harder.
Way
These
crazier.
were easy mode. These were cakewalk. It's just a lot of exaggerating.
finally I have a little like side.
Okay, I do just feel like the nitpicking is... I just feel that this is very unnecessary. I think the nitpicking is very unnecessary. Like, why are they going so hard for Escape the Night here in Joey Graceffa? Like,
Quest, right? And so, along with the hired production crew, there's hired actors, right? And all of these hired actors are wearing masks, like scary, like horror nights, like horror actors almost, right? And so I have this little side quest with one of these horror actors, okay? And so I get dragged into a freezer, okay? A meat freezer. There's like things hanging from like the ceiling, like whole nine.
Never that.
And there's a camera on me getting dragged by this man. And then they're like, okay, your next scene is that you're gonna be chained to the ceiling.
I'm just going to explain something for context because I think that is very important. I think it's lacking in this.
oh, okay, so this is currently Tana going into talking about the story of what happened between her and the man. I just feel that it's an incredible oversight here and over of the boundary for Rosanna or Mike to talk about what Tana is going to talk about because Rosanna and Mike were not there when this happened. So I just feel that this is a complete overstep.
is that we were playing tag.
A children's game.
A children's game on a creepy decorated set. We went over all of this in rehearsals, so she's acting like this is shocking her. Like she got dragged by something and dragged into a room and hung up. We went over all this in rehearsals, so it's not shocking or surprising to her.
And the dragging was like a scene. It wasn't
The
something
scene
that
was fake.
Unexpected
Right.
happens. They
So,
literally like ran through it.
For safety, what we did is the monster, we were playing tag, and if the monster tagged you, then you were captured. And then they would stop, reset, and then he would do this fake capture, fake dragging you over to timeout. And then you'd sit there in timeout. You didn't have to stay there. You could have left because as soon as the cameras are done, you could do whatever and hang tight while the cameras are still going playing tag. It's a planned thing. They also did this for safety because they didn't want a monster to just grab us and actually drag us away. So for safety, we did tag. We were told we were going to be tagged, touched, gave permission, all of these things. To say that she's shocked about being dragged, that's not what happened.
And then she's mentioning the meat freezer.
The meat freezer. Mike, tell us about the meat freezer.
So she's honestly making it sound like she's getting drugged into a meat freezer with actual meat and she's actually freezing. Neither of those things
There's
are
no
true.
actual meat on site. The props were made out of plastic.
Yeah, I don't think this freezer has been used in like 50 years. I don't think it works.
It's a non-active freezer, and there's not even a door.
Again, technicalities. Tana said she was in a meat freezer. You're acknowledging that it was a meat freezer. It was just a set design.
You guys, it doesn't even close. There's a partial wall. It's totally open. The basement of this building is open concept. So they have hallways, but all the rooms connect, and it's there's no real door.
It's basically just a room without
one,
a door.
There's one fake door.
I don't know if anyone explained to Tana, even though she's been on the show twice before, that it's all fake. It's not real meat. You're not being really drugged. You're not being really tied to the ceiling.
You'd think the rehearsal she would have got it then.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not real.
So now I'm fucking standing there, getting chained to the ceiling at 11 a.m. downtown in a gown with a corset in a meat freezer with my phone on SOS and it's 40 degrees. And I'm like,
What's crazy is almost every single thing she said in that list that she just raged about
Oh my god, but she has a way of telling stories, doesn't she? Come on, Mike, come on.
is either a lie or an exaggeration. Nobody was tying her to the ceiling.
Nope.
The only thing that is kind of true is your phone went on SOS too.
Yeah.
And it's like 15 steps to get up the stairs, and then you magically have your cell phone again. So I'll give her that. Technically, her phone was on SOS.
But you shouldn't have your phone on set.
I know, you're not carrying your phone around on set. And so everything she said in that list to try and make
That's crazy because you know what I carry my phone around during everything. You know whenever I'm on stage, Chronically Online Tour, if you look in my back pocket, my phone's there. I'm not putting that aside stage.
her story sound bigger and scarier is either an exaggeration or a lie.
I got permission to play a video, and I'm going to play it in this video, and it's basically going to clock the lies, and I really want you guys to see the...
Oh, God, not clock the lies. Okay, this is the intro of Tana talking about her experience with that man. I don't really think we should be using the terms, I'm gonna clock her lies.
These chains that she keeps referring to. And what I really don't like is that she keeps talking about them and painting the picture that she's actually locked to the ceiling. Like she's chained in and can't move. And
I think this just boils down to the fact that Ro and Mike were not there when Tana was telling this, like, about what this story
the reason I don't
was.
like it is because she's making it sound like her safety is at risk. Like she's locked in this room with this guy who said something to make her feel uncomfortable, and she cannot get out. That's what she's painting the picture.
And I'll post on the screen.
Post a picture.
Yeah, of like one random comment, and there's hundreds of these, of people taking what Tana is saying as fact, and then getting upset about it, and then continuing to spread the misinformation.
Yeah.
And that's why when people are like, there's no perfect victim, or, she's just exaggerating, but this other thing happens, I agree there is no such thing as a perfect victim. But when you go on your own podcast to millions of people that you have full creative control over, she is choosing to intentionally exaggerate.
And lie.
And there are people out there who don't understand that and are now continuing to spread that misinformation. And here's just one example, but you can find plenty on all these different podcasts and stuff.
Okay, so the chains were hanging from the ceiling, but again, no one is locked in. No one can never knock it out. At the bottom,
Locked in.
there's these
I
big
can be
loops.
locked
The
in.
loops were so big that you had to hold on to look like you were locked
And
in
you're
there.
standing the whole time.
Yeah, you're not dangling. You're standing on the ground. You have to put your hands here. Mike, paint the picture. Here's the hoops. They're big, attached to chains. The big hoops, and they're so big. You have to stick your hands through, and then you have to hold to make it look like you're locked in there. You're not. There's no locks.
There's no one tying her in there.
Here's how you get out. You let go. Boom. And then you walk out. That is how you get out. And I just don't like that she perpetuates this lie that she was locked in there. No one was locked in there. That is a flat out lie. And then you're making people think that your safety was at risk, that you were locked in there when you weren't. All right, everyone, we're going to take a quick break from...
Girl! Fourth ad? Oh my god, this is staining my lips, this little electrolyte drink. Look like I've just had spaghetti. Fourth ad, girl! Fourth. What the... Fourth ad in 40 minutes? That's an ad every 10 minutes. What the fuck, Ro?
Says, I adore Joey and I don't want anyone to be mad at him. Just look at the comments, Tana. When you describe it in this way, it makes it sound like
You were
it's
tortured.
extremely dangerous and you were tortured.
Versus
Of
it was
course-
fake.
Of course, people are going to go and get mad at Joey. And in my opinion, that's not how friends treat each other. And from everything I've heard, it was taken care of on set. And I believe that you didn't reach out to him after. And to me, that's not what a friend does. And it's just mean girl shit to just make that stuff up to make it sound.
Oh, not mean girl. I can't take it seriously when anyone calls anyone a mean girl after me being called it multiple times. Hey,
Worse
Alexa.
than it was because you want to tell a crazy story without thinking how it affects Joey. And
Look
I
how
don't
happy
think
Brooke's face is when she's on her rant.
that- Yeah.
She's just living to be a mean girl. She's like, oh, I love this. I love tearing people down. I love spreading misinformation. Let's go. Okay, ladies, let's go.
Like, you're lying. You're lying. What do you mean I'm being changed?
You're lying.
Oh, this is not good. I don't like this.
You're lying.
You're right, girl. You are lying. Let's move on.
Being chained to the ceiling in a meat freezer in a gown right now at 9 a.m. downtown, and this YouTuber just smoked their dead parent. What do you mean? Okay.
And is there evidence and are there photos and can I see them?
Right. I think I do.
Hey, thanks for asking, Brooke.
I do have photos, and I.
Okay, again, here's why we... Sorry, just the way Tana said that. I'm chained in a meat freezer. Someone just smoked their dad. But, like, I love Ro, but that's a funny sentence. You know what I mean? All right. I do think that Ro and Mike should have just vented about this in private. And hey, I don't know what the response is to this. You know what I mean? I really don't know what the response is to this. It could be great. It could not be. But I do just think that, like, they should have focused on Tana talking about Ro rather than this story in the meat freezer. I'm fearful of what's to come.
I do have videos and I have evidence.
I think I do have some photos, actually. And so then the camera guy walks away, and now I'm just in this freezer.
So the camera guy walks away, and that means your scene's done, you can leave. So she chose to hang out in the freezer with the actor. I had the same choice. And again, she reiterates the lie again that she is locked in there and can't move, like she's trapped. And that was not the case. That is a blatant lie.
Chained to the ceiling
No, you
with
weren't.
a man
You were not.
in a horror mask, right? And he starts talking to me, and he's like, hey, I'm JJ. And I'm all,
Hey.
hi, JJ. I'm Tana. Like, literally chained to the ceiling. I'm like, this is fucking kind of creepy. Like,
So she, again, is saying I was chained in there, I was trapped in there. She wasn't. She says this like a dozen times. She can literally just go like this, and then all of her problems
You have
go
to
away.
you just let go. That's how you get out.
No one chained her to a ceiling.
No, fact.
now there's no cameras. Like, the set, it was huge down there as well. So, like, the nearest people were like 25, 30 feet away, whatever, right? And this man looked.
In this video, she says they were 25, 30 feet away. In her recent video, I think it's episode 110, she says they're 100 feet away. I heard she uploaded another video that's behind a paywall, which I haven't seen yet, on her Patreon. The picture that she's painting was not reality.
Whatever, right? And this man looks at me.
Ro, this is so unnecessary.
I swear to fucking God, through the mask, I don't know what he looks like. And he looks at me and he says, this is my dream, having you chained up. No. This is my dream, having you chained up.
I would scream
And
out
then he
loud.
goes,
Yeah.
perfect. And I'm so, and then I just look at him and I mean, again, arms, I'm chained up. I mean,
Okay, here's the thing. I really hope they don't say anything on this. I fear that they're going to because, again, they were not there when this happened. They cannot say things when they were not there. Tana was there with the guy. If they do, this is really inappropriate.
Again, she's not chained up.
I'm fucking livid. I turned to him and I go, what the fuck did you just say? And he looks at me and he goes, nothing. Like, it was better you didn't hear it anyway. And I'm like, bitch, I heard you.
Wait, what?
I heard you.
Ew.
I'm in this meat freezer. And this man, whatever.
meat,
and,
no
then,
freezer.
and then he's just like laughing. And imagine.
Well, no meat, a very, very old, unoperational,
I guess, yeah, no
previously
full air, no full
used
air.
freezer, and now is a studio.
So up to this point, Tana has basically exaggerated or lied about
Most everything.
most everything.
Oh, guys. Guys.
And this is, I think this is the worst of the situation where she says that
He said
she
something
weird-
inappropriate to
Yeah,
her.
inappropriate to her. We weren't there for that.
No.
I believe.
And it should end there, babies. It should end there. What are you going to say next?
She probably was in that room with just that guy, so the only other person who would know is that guy. And obviously, if he's saying weird stuff,
That's not okay.
yeah, of course that's not okay.
That's what I told her on set. She told me that the actor, this is quote, said something weird to her.
Wait! Ro! What are you doing? You just confirmed that Tana told you in real time that something happened. Oh no! Oh girl. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, this is not good, guys. This is not good.
Yeah.
And I told her that's not cool. And I supported her. And I told her that she should go tell Joey because he'll put a stop to it. I don't know when she told Joey, but all she told Joey, he didn't have a lot of information to go on here because all she told
told him the
Joey
same thing.
is that the actor said something weird to her. And he said, well, I don't ever want you to feel uncomfortable like on set. So we'll just, I think she had a couple more scenes, but he cut them and filmed separately. And they were like going to fix it in post. And
And
like,
she didn't say what weird meant. There was no actual details. And so Joey just saw that she was uncomfortable and so separated them.
And I asked her the question, was he in character, like method acting, or was he himself? She claims that he was being himself. And I chose to believe her then, and it just makes it really hard to believe someone, not because of like who they are, but because when you tell a story where you're over-exaggerating so many things and lying about so many things, it makes it harder to believe you when it comes to serious things, because it destroys your credibility, it destroys your integrity.
Oh,
So I think one piece of
no.
advice that I would give to Tana is just work on that.
It is just really hard to believe everything she says when 90% of everything else she said is either an exaggeration or a lie. And again, it's...
I didn't realize that about her too, because like I don't hang out with her. Like, I've worked together with her, but when I would watch canceled podcasts, I thought that she was telling real life stories. how I feel about her claim today is a lot different than I felt in the moment on set when she told me. When she told me, I was completely supportive. I completely believed her. After seeing all this, I'm choosing to believe her because I am a girl's girl and I support other women.
Knowing what someone looks like.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is not good. This is not good, guys. This is not good. Oh, Ro. What are you doing? Oh, no, 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 no. I fear that will come back and bite her in the ass. Oh, that's not good.
I'm gonna say, like, what if he took the mask off and he looked like a Montana boy?
Did eventually took it off and did. It's so
Never
fucking
okay,
funny.
by the way, but all of a sudden I'm like, my dream too.
Tell me up.
So again, they bring it back to looks and are joking about, well, if he's cute, you know, now it's kind of sexy.
But because he took his mask off and he wasn't cute, then, now there's a
Now
problem.
he's creepy, now he's weird.
Right. It's really about looks with him. I didn't realize watching this how shallow they are. Everything is about looks. It's very surface level. Did he look like a Montana boy?
So they're objectifying them.
They're objectifying them. I just feel like that's really messed up messaging because it's like to a young audience, like especially young girls, saying like, oh, if guys are hot, they could treat you that way, and that's okay. But if they're ugly, they can't. Like even joking about that is gross. And I don't know how I feel now. I feel very confused. I feel very conflicted.
And eventually, I'm freed, right?
Eventually, I'm freed. Here's how you free yourself. You just let go. She was never locked up. I was freed. Yes, Tana, you were freed. You did it yourself. You just let go of the chain and you're out. There's no locks. You were never chained up and could not move. How many times does she say she was chained up?
It's over a dozen, I think, between all the podcasts.
And we all go to shoot this scene, and I wish I could just like say the people because it makes it so much fucking funnier. Like I'm gonna believe this, but like it's me and okay. And so this is my last scene of the day. I'm like, how much worse can this?
This was her last scene because Joey had to cut the other scenes. So she left even earlier.
Yeah, Tana said she has to leave early. I think she had a party, but she was going to go to urgent care to get her pinky looked at.
Yeah.
Which she never did.
No, she never went to the hospital.
And just like more creepy interactions with guys, and there's like, I can't express to you the way it looked down there, like just like random saws and shit strewn about whatever. I almost trip over a cord and eat shit in my kit and like, I'm freezing, my phone's on, I'm tapped out.
I like that she's saying something that's bad is that she almost fell. She didn't fall. She almost fell.
I almost walked into an inanimate object, and maybe you could be more self-aware if you had slept.
And on another fellow influencer, okay?
Guys, this is just picking it apart for no reason.
I have my hand on her shoulder, and now she's about to get taken away as
Tagged.
well by one of these horror actors, right? And I have my hand on her shoulder, and the same guy who came up to me and like said all that, like he's still, mind you, he's still on set, he's still like doing his thing, he's whatever.
He's still on set because she didn't tell Joey what he said. All she told him was that he said something weird to her, and he said, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. What do you feel comfortable with? And she said she felt comfortable to shoot this. She'd do one more scene. So Joey's did the best he can with what little information she gave him.
He's whatever.
And that is that he was the one working that scene? I mean, come on now.
He comes up to grab this other influencer away, and I have my hand on her shoulder, okay? And he's wearing these like big, like mitts, like prosthetic. It's not like human hands, you know what I mean? And he slams his fucking hand hard as fuck on her shoulder, and my hand is on her shoulder, and my pinky inverts. My pinky inverts, okay? Mind you, everyone is screaming because like someone's getting taken away. So now I'm like, ah, like at the top of my lungs because he just broke my pinky. The same man who literally assaulted me in a freezer just broke my pinky, and no one even knows I'm in pain because like everyone else, everyone is screaming, everyone thinks that, bitch, put that on my IMDb, okay? Breaks my.
It escalates so quickly.
It does. She really goes far. So she said that he broke her pinky. I do not believe that he broke her pinky. I think he sprained it. And she said a week later it felt fine.
Okay, but you're acknowledging that he did do that to her. You're saying, I don't think he broke it. He probably sprained it. So, you know what I mean? Like, this is... Stop. This is like... This is not good. This is really, really, really not good. Not good at all. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Did they post this because they had the sponsorships that needed done or something? I mean, I have no idea what made them post this.
And then now what this guy did is she has now upgraded it to assault.
Just broke my pinky, and no one
But you said that he sprained it.
even knows I'm in pain because like everyone else, everyone is screaming, everyone thinks that, bitch, put that on my IMDb, okay? Breaks my, and now
I bet it was believable as fuck. I bet you ate in that scene.
girl, I can't even believe, like my pinky's just now fine. It's like been a week. I like was in a 10 out of 10 of pain, like still had more shit to shoot.
But I will say that I do not think she broke her pinky. And if I'm wrong, Tana, upload that X-ray. Upload that
Oof. I mean, they acknowledged that it was maybe sprained at least, but now you're saying upload your X-ray to prove yourself?
It's like been a week. I like was in a 10 out of 10 of pain, like still had more shit to shoot. And then now this guy is like apologizing to me, like takes the mask off. Mind you, didn't look like a Montana boy.
Insults his looks again.
She's actually insulted everyone on the crew and most of the cast at this point.
Called most everyone ugly. First she was complaining that he had the mask on and it was so creepy because she didn't know who was behind it. Then he takes the mask off and then she's also complaining because now he's ugly, in her
And
opinion.
Now she's complaining that he's apologizing.
He's apologizing profusely, and now that is annoying her. Now she's complaining about him apologizing. Mike, do you think she would complain if he didn't apologize?
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't want to be there, so nothing that happens she'll like.
But Mike, she's happy to be there.
Oh, she's happy to
So
have her
happy.
friend make his
She's a really happy
video.
person. This is probably one of the happiest people.
I can't.
Following me around set, like apologizing to me for like breaking my finger. And I'm like, this is my worst nightmare. Like now I'm consoling this man. I'm like, it's okay.
Ugh, she's like spewing real blood. They're like, damn, FX is getting good.
So he genuinely apologizes and she rejects an apology.
Yep.
But she lies to his face and goes, it's fine.
That's like actually like such
I'm sorry, that's a very normal thing to happen. Also,
a scary fear, like getting actually murdered or something on like a murder movie set.
No, it's so
Who has that fear of getting murdered on a murder movie set?
crazy. And it's just like,
Well, I'm sorry. Ew.
I
How
just
fucking
left
creepy.
with like, it was one of those days where I was really like, God, I hate the male species. Like I really
Yeah,
left
like-
with this just like extreme frustration and anger and disdain. And it's just so frustrating too, because I feel like it's like, you know what I mean? Like everyone else is dressed in their ways. And I know it's very me to have like my tits up and like be all like blonde, like whatever. But like in that environment, it's so awful. Like it was just like, I couldn't even fucking
She picked
believe
the
it.
outfit.
It has nothing to do with the person who put
She
this
picked the
on.
outfit and knew the
Obviously, entire
environment.
production company. And like you can't assume 40 out of 40 men are all gonna be not creepy.
In fact,
right?
you
No,
can't
I do.
assume even.
Even that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
41 out of 40, they're always gonna be creepy.
it was so not on him, and like I just want to stress that enough, but I could not believe it. And I'm just like really thinking to myself too, like I just couldn't believe it. Like when I was in that
but also with the way that Joey Graceffa handled this after this, being like, oh well, free promo for us, you know, Tana has to always complain, makes me want to believe Tana more than anyone on Escape the Night, because Joey doesn't know how to handle criticism.
freezer chained to the ceiling, and this
You
man
weren't
is being like,
chained.
perfect, I'd love to have you chained up. I was like, oh my God, like
And I also like how her friend here says every single man on the planet is creepy. All of your interactions, you're gonna call them creeps, and it's a choice to live your life like that.
man is saying like, perfect, I'd love to have you chained up. I was like, oh my God, like what if I just wasn't me? Like what if I just like I feel like I'm very like abrasive and like
This is where Brooke is her yes man so hard that she gets it wrong.
She says yes to
The
both sides.
opposite of what Tana meant. And then she flip-flops when they're like, no, she meant this. And then she flip-flops again. So this is just Brooke, yes man, and just licking them boot. My dad used to call it a boot licker.
Yep.
Or like a kiss ass or whatever. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's one thing to say that in general, but like you of all people would be like understanding and be like, oh haha.
You're not the type to be like, what the fuck did you just
that's
say
what
to
I'm
me?
saying. Like I'm confrontational.
And then Paige is like, no, you got it wrong. It's this. She's saying this. And then she flips.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
I was saying like you would get the humor.
yeah,
But he
no.
wasn't joking. Like it was
Oh.
not a fucking joke. Like I cannot stress that to you enough. Like
Tana
his
had to
tone,
spit
his
out her
everything. He was
vape to
not
correct the
kidding. And I was,
record.
oh my God, like you know what I mean? Just like, what if this wasn't me?
Yeah, I
and like I
think-
almost like fully like fawned too. Like before I said, what the fuck did you say? I was gonna say nothing because I'm chained to the ceiling. I think
No,
it's
you
like
weren't.
the environment made it so much scarier. I'm in this freezer. I'm underground. It's cold.
By
I have no
yourself.
service. I'm by myself. All these
no.
things. And I was just like, I was just imagining so many things, and it's just so crazy. Like,
Because also, like, if you didn't say that, who's to say like he wouldn't have kept going and like been even more creepy towards you?
Yeah, like he
thank
got
God-
away with it the first time. So
Yeah,
let me keep
like thank God you
going.
reprimanded him. Who I fucking hate, man.
You should have gotten unchained and smacked him over the head with your stupid fucking.
I know.
Bullety little finger.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, and then broke my finger. Like of all people, it's just like, are you fucking
Yeah, like
kidding me?
have I not suffered enough?
Brooke said, you should have gotten unchained and smacked him over the head with your phone.
Assaulted him.
Assaulted him
That's
with your
assault.
phone. That is assault.
They both just hate men so much that just punch them if they say something you don't like. Just assault them, and that's okay.
That's not what adults
Girls.
do.
There's so much anger when she says that. It's wild.
And like, this is just what I get for like the side quests. You know what I mean? Like, I just
No,
like,
I love your side quest. Don't let a man ruin it for you because this is fun and exciting for everybody involved except for him because he's gonna probably get fired and he should.
Yeah.
he really, it just was so crazy to me. Like, I just like, men on sets, like it's so crazy. Like you're getting paid to come do a job and
Be
then
a
you feel-
professional.
and-
You're getting paid to be a professional.
How do they say that with a straight face?
I really don't feel like they see themselves clearly, and I really don't think they can honestly self-reflect. I
Tana's
think it
been
is an issue.
unprofessional every time she's filmed the show.
She can be unprofessional, but no one else can.
you feel so comfortable to be able to like act like that.
If
That's
men
so
have
nuts.
anything, it's always the fucking audacity.
And once again, like the people putting it on, just like, because obviously also after it happened, I went and like told fucking everyone because I'm also
Yeah, so is that
me.
why he came to apologize to you?
No, he
You
broke
think?
my finger.
Oh, so he knew he broke your
He
finger.
wasn't apologizing for what he said.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
he was only apologizing.
And I remember her telling you that her pinky was hurting. She did say it really hurts. I think she even said it's level 10 pain, which if that's the case, that sucks. And to me, level 10 pain is like you can't get out of bed because you're in so
Which, if that's true, that sucks. Okay, so they've acknowledged that they know that Tana came up to them and said he made me feel uncomfortable with things he said. And then they also confirm that Tana on set said that her finger was a level 10 pain, which are both things that Tana has said publicly. Therefore, I'm like, why are we going so hard nitpicking when we know that she told us that in person?
much pain. So I don't know. I think the pain level might be an exaggeration as well.
Apologizing for like my finger.
Oh my
And it was so
God.
weird too. He just looked at me and he was like, "You need your pinky to hold a hammer." And I was like, "What? Are you gonna kill me later? Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah,
is
do you think that was all a part of his plan? Like, make sure that you were like suffering, so
Right.
you could use your hand properly.
Like, what? How crazy is that? I just like actually couldn't believe it. And just something as simple as like the mic guy, like immediately just coming up and putting something to my bra instead of asking, like caught me off guard because I'm like so used to men being like, You know, like overly like. Is
Well,
this
yeah, because I feel like
do
there's
you
usually
mind?
like major precautions like taken in a situation like that because of how much has happened.
So no one should be left alone with like, yeah, I get it. But I really just, because again, even just the people putting it on were so nice to me and like making sure I was good and like whatever. Like I literally only blame like that awful man. You know what I mean? And any awful men that day that were like.
This is what I don't really understand them going so hard against Tana as well, because when you listen to a Tana Mongeau story time, this is actually one of the easiest she's going on everyone involved. She's very clearly making the distinction that this doesn't have to do with Joey Graceffa.
But like it's no one else's fault. I just can't trust anyone.
So I think she contradicts herself here. She's saying most everyone was nice to her, but earlier she said every single interaction with every single person was weird. And so now she's trying to say, well, it's actually just these couple of people. So I don't even think she can remember her own exaggerations on the same podcast. Because if I'm hearing her right, she's saying, oh, I don't blame anyone else. I just blame the few people. 30 minutes ago, she was saying everyone was creepy and weird. So that's, again, why it's hard to know what is fact and what is just exaggeration.
But
'Cause
I
now
can
she
tell you
completely-
that the chains is a lie, and there's females on set. That was a lie.
Yeah.
She chose her own wardrobe, so blaming other people for dressing her, in her opinion, like a slut, those are her own words, is false because she chose that outfit. And I mean, it's just ongoing. It's just so many things.
Yeah.
But like, she's Louise.
Ugh, ew. Death to men, all of them, except for Aaron.
Now she wants to kill all men.
Death to men, all of.
Guys, come on. Whatever happened to humor? Clap if you think she should suffer. They're quoting Wendy Williams, death to all of them. Girls, come on. Have a little bit of a sense of humor here.
Them.
What a fun little group of people. Kill all men.
I didn't know this was so miserable. I had no idea this podcast
had
was
no
so
idea.
miserable. All right, now we're going to watch another clip that people sent me. This is when
God.
Tana went on Just Trish, and they talked about the Escape the Night experience.
My finger's good. Okay. And I will always be so grateful to Joey Graceffa because he put me on the cast of Escape the Night when it was huge with YouTube Red, very mainstream
Tana looks beautiful as hell here.
billboards, mainstream media, like so many millions of people were watching it. Everyone else who was in that cast was much more esteemed, taken seriously, established as a YouTuber. He took a chance on a
That damn rainbow Birkin, Trish.
crazy Vegas girl, you know, and like, and he continued to bring me back. There were times on set where I would be crying over people being mean to me and he would pull me aside and always be really nice.
Now Escape the Night is not a niche project. Now it is a huge mainstream YouTube original project with
Okay, it can be a huge mainstream thing and also be a niche show. That is what it is.
billboards everywhere.
Millions of viewers.
And the other talent on set.
It was put at billboards at like VidCon. Who's the VidCon audience? YouTube fans. Who's the ones watching the show? YouTube fans. What are they? A niche.
were way more established and esteemed than her, and she was happy to be a part of it when she felt like she was around people who were, what do you say, like more famous than her or fancier than her or something?
Yeah.
And then her attitude flips when she feels like she's more fancy than other people. It's interesting.
Yeah, and she's saying that people are mean to her on set, which I was also on one of the Escape the Nights that she was on.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone being mean to her, so I'm not sure what she's referencing, but
I didn't see it, but maybe it happened.
yeah, maybe.
And he would pull me aside and always be really nice. He dealt with me at that time too. Like I wasn't on time. I wasn't the best. And like even just like VidCon wouldn't invite me. And then like
It's doing a lot of heavy lifting, saying I wasn't the best.
invite me. And then like I got to go with Escape the Night. Like just, and it is like I have chills thinking about it. It was a very pivotal point of my life. And like
Joey helped you.
I don't think that needs to be commented on. I think she was being overly nice to Joey there.
Have a come up.
So Joey goes out of his way to help you a lot. And do you return the favor for Joey?
Absolutely not. And then lie about really scary things, like being actually locked to a ceiling, like for safety wise on a set, like lying about that. That
Why are they going so hard for Joey here?
is
And she covers it with, well, I'm not mentioning by name, I'm saying he's doing good, but then you bash his entire production. Of course, people are going to pin it on him because it's his production. So you are not being a friend, you are not doing him favors, and I just don't understand the mindset.
I'm obviously just always down to pay homage to the niche things that the fans love as well.
And that's niche
How's
again.
niche again?
It's every day. So
Okay, so even when she's acknowledging it's mainstream, she's acknowledging it's niche. That doesn't help your argument. Two things are true at once.
I have nothing but love for him and the whole series and stuff.
Yeah, you know, she's just always down. She'll work hard 4 to 6 hours while complaining the entire time, calling it niche, bashing everyone on
Okay, but she doesn't have to be complimenting it now, but she is.
the show, bashing the entire crew, but she's got Joey's back. She's there to support.
I think here she calls us random characters.
Oh, great.
Stuff, but obviously he asked me to do this new Escape the Night, and it's no longer something that feels like it's in my wheelhouse. It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere and be with all these random personalities, and
She's a random personality.
She's literally worked with everyone on the cast, and now they're just random personalities. It's literally like when
Well, I think in a world where we aren't collaborating as much as possible, or as much as what we once did back in like 2016 and stuff, I think that's a pretty valid statement. You know, a bunch of random people you're filming with. You're not all friends with these people anymore.
people are like,
that's
oh,
how I
you
take
don't tell
it.
your old friends
But
because you have new, richer friends. That's literally what she's doing. She's downgraded people that she's worked with who have looked out for her, helped her,
When she
supported
was
her.
down.
And then now that she thinks
girl, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be RB. Okay, Divas, we are back.
that she's up here above it. No, these are just some random personalities.
Just shits
I
on
don't know her,
everyone.
I don't know him. It's insane. There's no self-awareness.
quickly as well. You know
Okay.
me, I'm like always agreeing to things.
Again, I don't personally take her saying it like this, but again, I know that they feel offended by that because they were the random people she's talking about.
And then I'm like, I'll look at my schedule and I'm like, holy
That's been me
like,
lately, too,
it's
yeah.
just, I say yes to everything. It was my New Year's resolution a year ago. I'll never not, like, and then it's just like my schedule was slammed. And then he's like, can you be in downtown LA at 9 a.m., like, on whatever the day was? And I'm like, that is just I suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
9 a.m., downtown LA, full glam already. I went to bed at like 4 in the morning. I got up at 6. Like, it was just,
And downtown LA, I immediately, I say no to everything. Even if it's my own shoot, I'm like, anywhere but downtown
yes,
LA.
I hate it. It's so far. It's so far.
Even during the day, people just get like robbed. Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
It is just like, it is a different world. I hate it.
I think it's just kind of like a snotty thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to drive to that part of town.
They're about that too. Wild.
Okay, let's go.
Again, I don't take it like that. Downtown LA, I've had awful encounters in. Me personally, I've had very scary encounters in downtown LA. And, I don't see them saying, I don't want to go to downtown LA as it being a snotty thing. Bitch, I'm not snotty, but I try my best to avoid downtown LA. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course, I'm like on my way. I'm like, I can't feel my hands in the car. I'm so tired. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But still,
Oh, wait, now she can't feel she clarified. She can't feel her hands because she's tired.
okay, whatever. But still excited, like so excited. And I get there and
So excited.
all of them I have different histories with and like love. Like I was having a great time on set with all of them, I will say. But I show up and
So she said, I have a history with all of them. But earlier she was calling them random YouTubers.
Random characters.
it's 9 a.m.
Okay, we're blowing this out of proportion, guys.
downtown LA and I haven't slept for an hour. And she's telling me about how she just and I podcast about this and then all the comments are like, she's talking about never do that. She's lying. And I'm like, why? Where do you people get off thinking that I would make that up?
I have a text that says that. She texted me that's what she was doing. Yeah.
Correct. I did text Trish that. I texted my family, I texted my really close friends, and I texted friends, just friends who, I hang out with more seldom, but I still consider them friends because I just wanted people to have a heads up and then belittle me because I'm doing something that you wouldn't do. These ladies have done a lot of things that I wouldn't do, and I've never judged them. That's what I'm upset about. It's just so confusing, it's so hurtful, and so mean. Ready for this?
Sure.
Here's my Tana impression. Could you imagine belittling a daughter after she loses her father to leukemia and she's trying to honor him in the way he wanted to be honored? And it's not a standard way.
At
But-
9 a.m.
And
in
it doesn't
downtown Los
hurt
Angeles.
anyone. It doesn't hurt anyone. It's literally just smoking cannabis, dude. Like, I just don't. So yes, I did text Trish, and I also text my families, and around the same time, I knew I was going to see Tana on set, and I would rather tell people in person, and I did tell her, but it came up more naturally than she acts like she walked in the room and I just yelled it at her. That's, again, painting an incorrect picture of our conversation.
And even when she was walking in for the first time, she was hinting that all you guys were just screaming, which is not the case. You guys were in the
No.
green room just chilling.
So then I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I already Patreon about this. I don't know if I podcasted or Patreon. I don't remember. But we're filming all day, whatever. And just always too, like,
Maybe 6.5, but the rest
give
of
her
us
6.5.
did film all day. We were there for 12 plus hours
So,
and
yeah,
for 2 days.
She did not film all day.
I'm in the waist trainer and the gown and the heel and it's cold and everyone else has jackets and of course I don't. And like, that's on me. And like, I'm obviously if I said no to anything wardrobe, Joey would change it. I'm not saying that.
On her
do whatever you want.
podcast, she's saying, someone's dressing me up like a slut. I have to
They
do this. I
did
have
this
to
to
do
me.
this.
They put me in this.
And she literally contradicts herself and is saying what we
I don't see it as her contradicting herself. I see it as her telling the story in a different way, if I'm being completely honest, right? You can't say she's contradicting herself when she is saying it.
were saying, which is
I feel like
Joey
she can't keep her lies straight.
is contradicting herself so much. And I haven't actually seen these clips yet, so this is crazy.
Is she an entertaining person? Yeah, but this is damaging.
Yeah.
Through the mask, he says to me, he goes, perfect. Like, I've always wanted to have you chained up. And I go, ah! It was in his real voice. He introduced his name. Like, he wasn't being an actor. Like, do you know what I mean? It was some real shit. And like, I leave and, I tell like everyone in there, like, you know me, like just immediately I'm going to tell people because I just think that's so not okay. And like, again, Joey was amazing. Everyone was amazing about it. You know what I mean?
Yes, they were.
Scare me, it scared the out of me because I feel like
course.
normally I'm not the type of person for things like that to scare me on a normal set, but I'm alone and like far from everyone.
hell
It's
no.
very creepy. And the whole production company, there was just a couple other things that happened that day where like guys were saying weird things to me and calling me hot and stuff. And I was just like, this is kind of a skeezy. And that's not Joey's, like, that's not on Joey. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely production, not.
yes, but just very skeezy, creepy.
Before she said he complimented her and said you look beautiful, you look great, and now it's you look hot.
But Tana would never
It's
exist.
very skeezy.
But she's saying like multiple people. Again, I was not Tana. I am not Tana. Shocker. And I would never think to discredit her and be like, I can't imagine that happening. I can't imagine people saying this to you about the crew because I'm not Tana. I didn't go through it. Like, you just look incredibly difficult when you're trying to fight for the case of the other person.
Creepy. And then I go over after all of this happens and I'm shooting my final scene and now I'm over it, right? Like I want to leave and I'm just like,
Now I'm over it. She was over it from the beginning.
Before she
We've
got
established this. We've established.
like what if that like it's just what if that happened to someone who didn't say what the did you just say?
They said, what if that happened to Rosanna Pansino? And then ready for this?
Like what if that like it's just what if that happened to someone who didn't say what the did you just say?
So she's saying, what if it happened to me and I wouldn't stand up for myself and speak up about it? And that is not who I am anymore. I really...
Here's the thing. This is something I really agree with Rosanna on. Tana being like, imagine Rosanna, she wouldn't say anything. Rosanna has every right to be pissed off in that, because that's such a rude thing for Tana to say. Like, oh, thank God I can speak up for myself, but not someone like Rosanna Pansino. She can't speak up for herself. That's something so valid to call Tana out for. It's just very unfortunate that we've had 1 minute and 11 seconds to get to this part.
Openly went on Trisha's podcast and I said that I took it and internalized men's behavior, like poor behavior, for years, for like over 20 years. And I just decided enough is enough. My trauma tank is full and I'm not taking any more crap. Not because I can't. There's nowhere to put it, you guys. The tank is full. It just has to come out. I cannot store it. I cannot hold it. It is too heavy. The weight is on my shoulders. It's too much of a burden. So we're not doing it. And a part of that is I spoke up about the largest content creator in the world, who is also now a billionaire. He's a very powerful person. He has a very powerful big company. He has billionaire partners. And I just, to say that I would be too much of a wuss to speak up in that situation is completely false.
I see that as something incredibly valid to call Tana out for.
Person doesn't exist anymore. This is now who I am, where I'm gonna clock people for lying, exaggerating, and when they do things that are cruel and mean for no reason, you're gonna hear about it, because there's no reason she even had to mention my name. Like, why is she bringing me up?
Because she thinks you won't speak up. That would be my
She's just punching down. Now she thinks she's better than everyone, and she's just punching down and down on all the talent, all the crew, all the cast, everybody, huh?
Like, did you tell anyone what happened besides like the cast? Oh,
Again, Rosanna's in the right for calling her out for that.
Yeah, well, I told like Joey and stuff, like and everyone, and they, they were like, "What?"
Oh, I would cry.
I was like, I really was so angry, honestly. And then this same horror actor, the one who said this to me, comes over to like grab her away, right? And my hand is on her shoulder, and he like just like goes like, do you get what I'm saying? To grab her like over my pinky, and my pinky.
He goes to tag her, not grab her. There's no grabbing. Clock, 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 clock. God, I'm exhausted. It is a full-time job clocking her, and I can't do it all the time because this is the only instance where I was on set with her, so I have the ability to clock her.
My pinky like inverts, and I'm just like, and I'm like immediately screaming, and of course everyone else is screaming. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like a horror thing, and I'm like actually screaming because my pinky is broken. And at first I think it's my nail, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I think it's my nail, so I'm kind of just making like broken nail jokes and stuff. And then after a while, I'm like, looks a little wonky. I'm like pulsating, like 10 out of 10 pain. I'm like, oh my God, like, and like that is Escape the Night and always how they've done it. But
do I have to clock it every time? I'm just getting really tired. So like, let me see here. Yeah, she mentioned the nail hurt, and then it swelled just a little, and then it looked like a sprain to me.
And they offered her like pain meds, and she didn't take them. And
again, it's an independent production.
Okay, sprain, breaking.
And we're in a basement in downtown LA.
The budget.
No, and it still was very budge. Like he spent a lot of money.
She has to admit that there was a budget. Because how is she painting the picture? She's painting it as a piece of shit. And then Trish goes, oh yeah, it was low budge. And then she goes, no, it was high budge because there are receipts.
Spent a lot of money. It's a big space. It's a huge production crew. I'm not on it at all. I'm just saying it's independent.
The safety felt a little.
Again, I feel like Tana's being really nice about, I was going to say Beast Games, Escape the Night, and then just saying things that she didn't like about it. And I think that's incredibly valid.
Yeah, so then obviously it's just like, and then you don't want to be the difficult person.
She was difficult the entire time.
Yeah.
And I do think that a lot of people don't speak up because they don't want to be difficult. That is a thing.
I did that for years.
But she was being difficult, and she just admitted that she told everyone. And now she's saying, well, I didn't want them to know that it hurt that bad, except they were offering her pain meds to help with the pain and the swelling. And so it's just, I don't say how you say I don't want to be the difficult person, and you are the most difficult person.
It just doesn't make any sense. If you broke your finger and they offer you pain meds, why would you turn that down?
He's taking off his mask. He's apologizing to me every 2 minutes, and I'm like, oh, like now I have to like coddle you when you broke my pinky. I'm like borderline, just like.
And are you also like him like pushing your hand out? Like, so you're just all aware that they're gonna touch you, because like in Universal, the scare actors can't touch you, so you're just like aware that.
And the answer is yes, and Tana does answer honestly this time. There's no clocking. I can finally, I can sit back.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Let's hear it, Tana.
Mike, can I have a drink? We need to
Let's
celebrate.
listen to some truth.
Let's just have
Let's hear
a
some
sip here.
truth.
Oh, thank goodness. Great. Oh, let's hope for some more of this.
You're just like aware they might grab you.
Yeah.
But it's not choreographed.
Yeah.
Oh, that
There's
was
the truth.
painful
Oh,
for
it's
her to have to
painful.
say.
I have to say the truth. And it wasn't a grab. Again, we were playing tag. When we played tag, it wasn't choreographed. The only thing that was choreographed was sometimes the order in which people got tagged, because we had to be time efficient for the production because we were shooting an entire thing in 2 days. It's very efficient.
Okay, I didn't want to because I love him in the final product and for the fans and stuff. But then, of course, I podcast about it, and all the comments are like, of course, Tana leaks Escape the Night. I'm like, hello? What about my trauma?
So I think that's why Joey's feelings are hurt, is because she did leak Escape the Night and details about
Who cares about Joey Graceffa? No shade, not me. Not me, bitch.
Escape the Night, and it hasn't even been announced yet. And this is not a little thing for Joey. Like, this is a project. It's his baby. He created a new genre of television, a type that has never existed before.
New genre of television is crazy.
And
I hope I have a friend like Rosanna who can like hype me the fuck up like she does for Escape the Night.
Gone on for year after year after year. It has a very dedicated fan base, and he built this from the ground up. Like, as a YouTuber, and usually as YouTubers, we're underdogs. We get shit on all the time in the entertainment community, and I think it's just heartbreaking for him because he was there for Tana when other people weren't, and he did support her when she felt like she was down.
And I feel like he took care of it on set, and now she's saying that it's trauma, and I feel like she at least owes it to Joey to talk to him. If she does feel traumatized by what happened, as a friend, I would hope that they would at least reach out to Joey.
Well, Joey didn't reach out to her. Instead, talked about her on the Just Trish podcast.
I felt like he was like maybe felt some type of way about me me podcasting about it, but yeah, I just left really hating men in Hollywood. That production company was just kind of a group of skeezy men. And I was just,
Oh, it was just men again. Now we're back to it's just a group of skeezy men, and every interaction she had was weird with every single person. But and earlier she was saying she doesn't want to dunk on production. It's like she can't keep her exaggeration
no, just being like the
straight.
blonde and the bubbly and like this like
Yeah.
sexier your brand, like people just take things further, you know?
Yeah. No,
And-
most of them I've been working on lately have all been like gays and girls. Like
I love the gays in the lay days.
The gays in the late days. We
Yeah.
can agree on that, Trish.
I definitely agree with you, Trish. I love the gays in the lay days. They are a good time. One could say the best time.
The other thing I think, yeah, like there should have been more people there. It shouldn't just be me and a horror actor waiting to like pick up a shot, you know? Like I think the camera guy like went to film something else. And
How
came
come no
back,
one?
but-
Yeah, you think someone would be like, "Do you need anything? Do you want something?" Like, you know what I mean? Just being like,
They did do that. So every time we took a break, PAs ran over and they handed us water bottles. So much to the point that I had to start just being like, no, because I had too many water bottles. I was like, stop, please. They were very attentive and they checked in with us all the time. And I can't speak to Tana in that one instance, but every time that we cut, every time they checked in on us. And again, she was not locked in the room, chained in the room. There is not even a door, and production was 15 feet away.
Yeah. Props to Joey though, like crowdfunding it and getting that many people to fund it now is like the biggest flex
Yeah.
and so cool. So like,
Yeah.
no, just
Again, I think I've heard Tana speak nice about Escape the Night more than I've heard her speak bad about it. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that.
I was so gagged back in the day. Like YouTube Red had a budget that I'd never seen before, you know?
Now we're going into the third time Tana talks about Escape the Night, but there's actually 4 times. Apparently, she also talked about it on her Patreon, but I didn't see that one, so I can't clock her there. All right, let's go.
Oh my God, I want to talk about Joey Graceffa. That was just like a whole, like very, very awful day and awful experience for me, you know what I mean? And just being fucking fake chained up in a meat freezer and
What's this? She said being fake chained up in the meat freezer. That is
Okay, I mean, we understand the picture of what she's trying to tell us.
correct. It was all fake, and you were never actually trapped there. You were never locked in. You could get out all the time.
and a guy is telling you completely off camera that he would love to have you chained up like this with a fucking mask with horns on and know people are 100 feet away. And again, just the mental state of thinking, like, what if that was Rosanna Pansino?
So there she is again, dogging on you, essentially saying you're meek and weak. I don't know if Tana knows.
Again, this is such a valid thing for her to be calling Tana out for, and I didn't know she had said this about Rosanna. But yeah, painting the picture of, thank God I'm so brave that I would stand up for myself, but someone like Rosanna wouldn't. That's something for Rosanna to call her out for, because that's such a disrespectful thing to say. So yes, Rosanna has every right to call her out here.
The last person who came for you had to fire their CEO. So
Like-
I don't know where in her mind she thinks that you're just this little weak thing.
For many years, I did allow people to treat me poorly in private. I did that for 20 years of my life, but my trauma take is full. I talked about this on Just Trish's podcast. I would encourage everyone to listen to that. And just to really understand where I am now in life, my trauma tank is full. I cannot take anymore. So anyone who comes at me or for me or does anything to me, I'm not going to hold that in. I am not going to bear that weight. I am going to speak up for myself. And she's saying she doesn't think I would have enough courage to speak up to a horror actor. But I have enough courage to stand up to the biggest, largest content creator in the entire world, who is a billionaire and is extremely influential and powerful.
And a lot of
It's
comments-
insulting. It's insulting.
A lot of the comments I saw on these multiple podcasts.
Again, I completely agree with her here. Tana saying that about her is incredibly, incredibly disrespectful and deserves to be clocked for that.
Is like, why is Ro taking so many stray bullets? She has nothing to do with any of this, and for some reason Tana has to bring it up on every podcast as a jab to be degrading, and it's just mean for no reason. I mean, she is friends with a lot of people in the Jake Paul, Logan Paul world, so
Oh, do you think
maybe
that's it?
maybe they're piecing it together that we don't like bullshit, but I don't know.
Oh, you know what, Mike? That's probably it.
Maybe.
Oh. Yeah, the thing is like, I'm just going to call him like I see him. A lie is a lie. Do you know how to frustrate an honest person? Lie to him. Do you know how to frustrate a narcissist? Tell him the truth.
And then Joey Graceffa goes on Just Trish and says, and I quote, when Tana brought it up on her podcast, I was like, honestly, whatever. She can complain. It's bringing attention to the project.
That's a real quote.
That's a real quote.
I'm like, if they defend him over this, because that is literally at its core a woman complaining about the workplace that you've created, and then you're like, well, it doesn't matter. At least she's giving me promo for my show. Please, for the love of God, can they not defend this?
He said that on Just Trish. That's like a really bold choice.
And I understand that I'm always on a rant and a tangent, but once again,
You
infuriating to
No,
me.
you were so specific about like not making it was you love him, it had nothing to do with him. It's not his fault. So like hello, normal response. Like I am so upset.
She even admits that she's always ranting. Again, the word ranting is using a lot of heavy lifting because she's actually exaggerating and lying.
Yeah, and then later, Brooke says, how can you interpret that as complaining? And then Tana says, well, I wasn't bitching about being downtown LA. She was bitching about a lot more than that.
So I think Joey probably would apologize for saying that, but I think it's coming from a place of
Probably would apologize. It's crazy.
he was given limited information on set. He still fixed the problem. Tana didn't complain afterwards, and then she makes a podcast attacking him, telling lies, and covering it with, no, this isn't Joey. But you can literally just look at the comments on everyone's videos covering this, and they all are saying Joey made an unsafe workplace, did this, did that. So
Blaming Joey.
yeah, and so you can't just say, no, I love Joey, but his project was a mess. All the people he hired was a mess. Everything that happened to me was a mess, but Joey's great. Like, I think Tana is smart enough to know.
I think she's very smart.
Yeah,
I think
she's smart enough to know what she's doing. And
She's very loud and she's smart.
honestly, I think Joey probably didn't realize how upset Tana was because when it was on set, it was taken care of, and then he never heard from her again.
She says that she speaks up for herself and she's outspoken, but she never said anything other than he said something weird. She didn't say a lot.
So I think Joey probably didn't realize how.
Okay, again, I think past the dad comment that Tana made, I think the insinuation that Rosanna is like weak and timid has upset her enough to do all this. And you know what? I can understand, because that's a low blow that Tana did, keep bringing Rosanna up and painting her in this light. But I don't think they should be discrediting anything Tana's gone through because of that.
How upset she was, and I'm sure he would apologize for that. But it also doesn't excuse all the lying and the exaggerating.
Right,
Writing
that
it off
happened.
as complaining is crazy. And then almost like diminishing like the pinky thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he said to Trisha exactly, if it was like, ask her how her pinky is.
I agree with Joey. Ask her how her pinky is. Internet. I think we should all ask for those X-rays, and not just the X-ray, but the actual doctor at the hospital. So you can.
But, Ro, even you acknowledged that you thought it was sprained. So at its core, he did something to her pinky. Oh, my lighting has just turned off, which basically means that I need to plug it in again. Or should we just finish it with this cozy lighting? We'll finish it with this cozy lighting.
You can verify that that is a real document and not a doctored document.
And it's like, okay, but this man who just like literally.
Okay, not like so we can prove it's not a doctored image. Rosanna, girl, we don't need her to be posting her medical records.
verbally.
No shade.
Is that sexual assault?
It's harassment.
Sexual harassment.
It started out as weird, then it was assault. Now she's like, it's sexual assault. And Brooke is like, sexual harassment.
She's like, reel it in, reel it in. She's guiding it just a little bit back.
This man who just
good.
sexually harassed me on a
It's
set,
not good, guys. It's not good.
then just like broke my pinky. Like, that shit fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so ass and so annoying.
Yeah,
And then
smash
he
your
just-
pinky.
And like Joey.
It was an accident also. We were playing tag, and on set, some accidents happen sometimes, and I do feel sorry. I've had a lot of accidents on set happen, even with stunt coordinators, and it's, on good sets, they really try to avoid that. And I know Joey tried to avoid it by doing very little contact and very simple games like tag.
I also have a podcast, and you know that when inviting me on, and I would have never said anything. I would have never, you know what I mean, even brought it up until it came out, had that not happened. But like, that fucking happened to me.
And I don't really understand what she means by like, he knows I have a podcast. I don't.
Everyone has a podcast. At this point, who doesn't have a podcast? I think that's
I know, that's like
bigger,
the
that isn't
worst
an
flex I've ever
excuse,
heard.
Like, he knows I have a podcast. My mom could start a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what she
and
means
she's
by
in
like,
her
he knows
70s.
I have a podcast. Okay, I don't know what that means.
So many young, sweet
Oof. I don't even know what to say. I'm like, oof.
YouTubers and influencer girls, I know that situation could have very easily gone so differently because they're not necessarily as outspoken of people as me. Even I found myself so afraid in this situation that I almost like fawned to the man, you know? So it's like, to write that off as just complaining is like so fucking
But
crazy
how
to
can
me.
you even like interpret it as complaining? Like, there's nothing like, it's not like you were like, oh my God, and I hated being there and it sucked and I had the worst day.
I mean, I
Like,
was like bitching about being in downtown LA early in the morning, but
well,
that's for
that's not
anything.
fair. Nobody wants to be in downtown
And
LA.
also, those two things are completely separate. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Brooke says, how could you even interpret it as complaining?
Does Brooke forget they just had this whole conversation?
Brooke flip-flops. Any way the wind is blowing with Tana, she usually flip-flops. I saw her one time reel her in once, a mini reel, and it was like a mini fishing pool.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit back. How can you even interpret it as complaining? And then Tana goes, well, I was bitching about being downtown LA.
Well, and the long.
Well, here's the thing. Tana can bitch about being in downtown LA, as I've done often as well. But then she can still talk about what she went through on the set. It doesn't take it away.
List of 15 other things
Yes.
she's complaining about.
She's like, oh yeah, well, it's downtown LA.
Come on, we're not all happy all the time. We're not all able to put on a show all the time. We're not all perfect. You know what I mean? Like, this just seems like very unnecessary.
They have convinced themselves that downtown LA is like a foreign country that you have to get to on a mule, and you're going to get scurvy because you don't have any fruit. Like, it's not that crazy.
I'm just very at the point in my life, I think that I have grown so much as a person. I've also shown my growth so much online. For people to then like, oh, it's just Tana me over things that are fucking serious enrages me.
Yeah.
Now. Because it's like, you didn't have to go say that. You, like, and I like loved Joey Graceffa. I don't.
She said she loved past tense Joey Graceffa, and she said you didn't have to go and say that. So she can say whatever she wants about Joey, make up lies about the production, and that she was actually in like more harm's way than she was. She can exaggerate and lie on him, and whatever inappropriate comment happened, he made sure moving forward would never happen again to her on set. He addressed it in the moment. It's weird. It's an interesting choice.
No, like I just like, it's like, okay, bet.
Just good to know, I guess, like moving forward, no more skip the neck for Tana Marie.
And there, honestly, I should have just let it die where it died. And that's the thing too, I think why it's so infuriating to me, because I was like doing it for my friend Joe.
She's implying she was doing the project as a favor.
A friend helping you move, and all they do is
Which is exactly what people do Escape the Night for. Joey asked them and they do it. Come on, Escape the Night in 2025 is not that impressive to be a part of. I'm sorry. I know there's nostalgia and stuff there, but come on. Who is Joey Graceffa in 2025? It is no longer 2024. No. 2014.
complain the whole time and how much you owe them and that they're doing you such a favor. And they're so happy to be there, but like, you're moving the boxes wrong. You're not doing anyone a favor, Tana. It is the opposite. You're doing them a burden. You are not doing
Why
them a
did she
favor.
agree to do it?
For my friend Joey. And like for the fans who love it, I'm still happy for that and all, but it's like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that to be what he had to say about that. You know what I mean?
I don't think she's able to hear his feelings and his side of the story and how the whole thing made him feel. I think it's only about her and her
Because it was his production, he's supposed to be the professional one. He hired her. Not the other way about
feelings,
it.
and I think it's very one-sided.
And this really should have been a conversation between two people, not Tana goes on a podcast, Joey goes on a podcast, Tana goes on a podcast. Like, just be an adult. and talk.
That's what I would do if it was a friendship of that many years.
And that's what actual friends do. They don't just go online and immediately bash you and then surprise Pikachu face. Yeah, and I don't think Joey knew how upset it made her.
Yeah, I feel like he had a really good opportunity to just be like, oh my god, like that, it's so shitty that
Men
stuff
are
like that
awful.
happens, and like, yeah, obviously, like,
Brooke's like, he had an opportunity to lick your boots and he didn't do it. He had an opportunity to kiss your ass.
Yeah, like just because it's not on him, it's on the production
it's not,
company.
but
and
still,
now
like,
it's
you feel, or you should at least feel like some, you know, like if that happened, like
Responsibility.
on a project that I was working on, I would feel like, oh my god, like,
yeah, I'm responsible. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, exactly. Like if I fucking had a girl with a podcast on my set and then she went to do that, I would be on the podcast the next week being like, yeah, men are awful and I'm really fucking sorry that happened to you.
Right.
Not she can fucking complain.
all women do it.
It's all about her and her feelings and not about anybody else's. And
Yeah, it's all about her and her feelings because she's on her podcast. The same way this is, you know, all of your feelings. This is how your
it's not just
podcast
that, like she's belittling
goes.
everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone.
she insulted all the crew,
The whole
all the
cast,
cast, like
everybody.
So everyone sucked except for her.
Except for her.
Tana.
Everybody sucks except for her. But she's matured
But she's grown so much.
so much.
Just because women have problematic pasts, even with Blake Lively and this shit, it's like two things can be true. You can not like someone or you can think someone's problematic and outspoken, but if someone's speaking up about something that happened to them, like that's
the whole thing, like perfect victim.
And I think in situations that is very true. But when you're literally the one lying and exaggerating to degrade people,
Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not. He like agrees with her, but then makes the point about her. Oh, this I don't like that. Oh,
that is a
God.
completely different situation.
The last clip that I'm going to play and
All right.
review is she backtracks. So instead of taking accountability for the mean things that she said about me and belittling me
Mean
and calling
girl,
me a random
mean kid,
YouTuber
mean
and
adult.
just degrading me, like after she does that, instead of taking accountability and being mature and apologizing for being mean to me for no reason, have done nothing to her, she backtracks and lies some more.
people coming at me for saying that Rosanna Pansino wasn't saying that she was smoking her parents' ashes. It's like, where the fucking ever living fucking hell shit fuck do you people think I would get off making any of that up? Like, it is such an out of bounds story to make up, like in a meat
Just a
freezer.
little too specific.
Like smoking the parents in the meat freezer. Like, it's like, I'm creative, but like.
Did she have anything to say about that?
Here's Brooke trying to throw some shade at me. Look at that angry face. That is a mad woman. Did she have anything to say about that? Like a little snotty brat kid. Like,
They stay completely unaware that Tana's lying profusely. It's like they throw a million jabs at you and they're like, well, does she have anything to say about that?
this girl is so boring. She is like a piece of wood floating in the ocean. I'm just like, yes, I have something to say about it. Yes, I smoked cannabis, Brooke. You caught me.
Did she have anything to say about that?
No, because I think she did do it, and like Rosanna Pansino's a slay.
After Tana gets backlash for attacking me for no reason, now I'm a slay. That's the backtracking. That's the flip-flopping. So there's not taking...
But didn't Rose say that Tana's initial response to the smoking her dad was slay as well?
taking accountability and apologizing for all the mean, nasty things that you said and the way you talked about me and belittled me about something that is actually truly sensitive to me, like genuinely, and that's why I told you in person. You saw my eyes, you know my heart, like you know, but this is not taking accountability. A friend does not attack someone over and over and over again and then just be like, sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, she's a slay. Well, now she's a slay.
I wasn't coming at her. Like, that was just funny.
I wasn't coming at her. The denial.
Denial.
It's either delusion or denial.
Sweep under the rug, denial, own it. You did come for me and you got backlash and
Can't own her own shit.
it was just a funny.
Wow, hilarious.
I wasn't coming at her. Like, that was just funny. But then people were accusing me of making that up. And I'm like, again, just where...
I wish you made it up.
I wish she made it up.
Yeah, so now
Coming in with
I
nothing.
know.
I'm more badass than these bitches could ever be. And it's funny because Tana's brand, I thought she was so like badass and out there and would talk about like sexuality and stuff. And I thought that was like so cool and freeing. And now I'm just seeing it in a different light that I am 100% authentic and I don't care what people think of me. You can have opinions. Don't be fake with me and lie to me and try to pull one over on me. In every interview, she's like, can you imagine if that happened to weak little Rosanna Pansino? Apparently weak little Rosanna Pansino smokes cannabis with dad's essence is too badass for you. You can't hang.
All right, so here's the video that we got permission to use.
Okay, Ro. I need you to get in here, and I'm gonna need you to be chained up. I'm sorry.
Girl, this set looks cheap as shit.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're so.
This kind of a situation.
You reaching up is so funny.
I mean, this is Joey. This
Wow.
Number one, this looks cheap as hell. Number two, this does look creepy as hell.
We're stretching it. We're gonna make you
is
taller.
not made for my size.
No, it's perfect.
Wait, let's test.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Ready?
It works.
Okay. Wow, she's flexible. That should be how you solve the clue. You have to kick the meat, it has to spin
Could you not imagine how creepy this would be though if someone on the set, it was just you and them, said something creepy to you when you're in here?
around, hit something over here, it knocks the key down, and then
Back down.
I would
yeah,
punch them.
rolls
Please
in.
over here. It's this, buddy.
I'm dead.
Ooh, there's hot fresh soup too. Okay.
Did you reach in there?
Yeah, that is where it's so disgusting.
I feel sick. I feel ill.
Literally,
Wait, look.
it's this, buddy.
I'm dead.
Ooh, there's hot fresh soup too. Okay.
Did you reach in there?
Yeah, that is where it's so disgusting.
I feel sick.
Okay, look. There's like a little entranceway here, which does go to show that the rooms are closed off in some capacity. Therefore, Tana's not lying.
Literally,
By the way, this is Emma. She has been the most incredible part of this whole project. We do. Literally saved the day multiple times. Saved the year, saved the whole project. So you guys have her to thank. She's incredible. She's my new favorite person. Literally. We love.
And I'll pause it right here on the first
Damn, we really do not need another Escape the Night
frame. And just so you know, that kind of black sheet that's hanging, that's literally a video village, which is where like a lot of the producers sit, the director usually sits there, whatever. So that's how far away a bunch of the crew was.
15 feet.
And then this is literally the freezer that Tana
Yeah, which has a closed off entrance.
keeps talking about.
The meat freezer, there's no real meat in there. Those are props.
Yeah, like obviously fake meat.
Yes.
And then here are the chains.
See here, I'm grabbing the chains, and the loops are so big that when I have to stick my hands through, I have to hold on at the top. Otherwise, they just fall right off. And I'm very short, so I was fully extended.
And the fact that you can reach them and you're only 4'10".
Right.
You're not,
so
nobody's hanging in the air or anything
Tana's
like that.
was she puts her hands in and had to fake it even more because there's a lot of slack. And she has to hold it up even higher because it's a lot of slack. And here I am. I wanted to test the weight. I just wanted to play around. We were just doing a silly little behind the scenes thing.
The very obviously foam meat. It's so terrifying, Tana.
That piece of plastic had me twisted. This pot of stew was fake.
They didn't actually boil humans
No.
for that.
Oh, and here. Oh,
wait, is that a
pause.
woman on the crew?
Okay, so I'm gonna pause here. This is one of the production leaders who worked with us all day, all the time, like so much. She was so hands-on. She developed all of the games, like the clues and puzzles we had to solve to escape the escape rooms. She was just awesome, and she is a girl. I just wanted to use one clip to just kind of give people a context of reality, because it's just a lot of over-exaggeration and lies. Once again, you guys, thanks for listening to Ridiculous. I really just wanted to give some more perspective.
All right. First of all, I want to see the comments on this. Am I the only one that understood what Tana was saying when she mentioned Ro? She was saying if it were Rosanna, people would care more. Rosanna, I've been a fan of you since I was a little kid. I even bought your damn cookbook, and the fact you're tearing down another woman is insane. Tana's video seemed pretty lighthearted. Y'all calling her friends dumb isn't cool. I like Rosanna, but this is not great. I love you very much, Rosanna. I don't think Tana was trying to throw shade at you. All right. Well, we will leave it there. Sorry for my light going out. I'll come really close to you. I don't like this at all, if I'm being real. I think it was very unnecessary and probably should have been a conversation just between Ro and Mike. I know that Trisha's responded, so I'm going to immediately jump on that. But again, if you're in London, 30% off tickets using code DOLLY, and everywhere else in America, we are coming back in a couple weeks. I cannot wait. Patreon is linked down below. And Muckers, I will see you very soon, and goodbye.